When your children ask you, "What do these stones mean?" tell them what the Lord has done for you. This was God's instruction to the Israelites as they crossed into the Promised Land. To take 12 stones from the bed of the Jordan River, where God had stopped the flow of water, and set them on the shore as a memorial, so that when the people looked at these stones, they would always remember that the hand of God had brought them out of slavery and set them free. Stones have often been used as a means for remembering what God has done in our lives. In Genesis, Jacob received God's promise in a dream. So he took the stone he had used as a pillow that night and made an altar of it to serve as witness that surely the Lord was in this place. Here at First Baptist, we have embraced the practice of using stones as tangible reminders of God's presence in our spiritual journey, in a ministry we call Milestones. Through Milestones, when someone becomes a member of our congregation, they're invited to select a pottery bowl for their household. These bowls have been handmade by local artists, some from within our own church family. Much like God holds the whole of our lives in the palm of His hands, these bowls, over time, will be filled with milestones. Clay stones with symbols on them representing different moments in their spiritual journey. Times like their baptism or a significant leadership role. Maybe the birth of a child or a loss they've experienced. These milestones are tangible reminders of the ways God has walked with us through the whole of our lives, the difficult and the joyous. And they remind us of the reality and grace that we journey together alongside one another as a congregation.
Children experience many developmental milestones throughout their earliest years: physical, emotional, social, and spiritual. We will mark highlights of their spiritual development with stones, each handcrafted with unique symbols representing parental dedication, personal profession of faith and baptism, and other significant moments like learning scripture, sharing their faith, demonstrating trust or independence, and discerning God's guidance. These stones are not tokens to be earned, but reminders of significant spiritually forming moments and the support of a church family along the journey of a lifetime of faith.
Adolescent life is overflowing with big moments. Getting a driver's license, first job, going on an international trip, graduation. The list is big. It's also the season of life where we start to explore our own faith, taking the lessons of our parents and beloved teachers and making that faith our own. As our students carve out their identity in life and faith during these formative years, our milestones will help mark and celebrate these big development moments in their lives.
The first 4 milestones are given when the bowl is received. Each is stamped with a word of one of the 4 spiritual pillars, or truths, that are the focus of our spiritual formation ministry. They remind us that we are beloved, tethered, forgiven, and whole. These 4 stones, handmade by members of our congregation, are given right at the start because they cannot be earned. They are gifts of God we must simply receive. Spiritual formation is the journey of a lifetime. The stones that ultimately fill our bowls will all be different from one another. But together, they will tell the beautiful and powerful story of all the ways that God has been at work in us and among us. So, when you set out your milestones bowl, and your children ask you, "What do these stones mean?" tell them what the Lord has done for you.